Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. We are in the atrium in the house here, the indoor garden. We've got the grow wall behind us. We got a bunch of fruit trees and other things in here. So I thought I would give you kind of a tour slash update, talk to you a little bit about what has worked in here growing through the winter time in Michigan, what has worked and what has not. So if you've been following along, you'll know some of this, but the grow wall behind me, it's a Worth garden wall. It's you can put these outside mainly, but I have ours inside. And I have, a few weeks ago, I planted a bunch of stuff in here, and so I'll give you guys an update on what has grown, what has sprouted. We used all of our Sow Right seeds to get everything started, so I'll kind of give you some of the germination rate. And we have some new grow lights that we've been using and experimenting with, so I'll give you an update on that as well. So you'll hear all the water running behind me, and this is the indoor grow wall. I haven't planted anything in the top space there because I don't have light on it. And in Michigan, even though we have all these windows behind me and these shades need to be removed, it's just hard to get up there. It's really high. I need a 12-foot ladder, and I need to stand on the top of it just to get those off. So even if we have everything open in here, there's so little sunlight in the wintertime. And so nothing has really grown well in here. So I have added a bunch of different grow lights to kind of experiment with how this will work. And last time I did this video, I tried these Barina. These are kind of a neat little vertical grow light. They have a full spectrum grow light. They're about 4 feet tall. And so these have been working really well. I've got one on that side and one on this side. I probably could use 4 of them in here to really spread this out. In the middle section, I have LED strips, light strips on the back side of it, because what was happening was the little sunlight we did get from the windows on here, everything would reach out this way and then fall down and get really leggy. So I thought if I added some backlight, that maybe that would help, keep things moderated. And it helped a little bit. Things would grow, but they still get real leggy. It's not powerful enough, those LED strips. I turned the pump off so the water will stop running, so it'll be a little quieter. But you can see I'm watering it right now, and the way that it works is water gets pumped up. There's a little bucket back here with a pump in it. Pumps the water up to the top, it distributes it across there, then it kind of cascades down. You can see the water kind of flowing down through there. And it all ends up in that little gutter at the bottom, and then there's a tiny little pump in there that pumps it back into the bucket. So I can let it run for about an hour every couple days, and it just kind of soaks everything and cycles the water through there. I can add fertilizer right to the bucket, and it fertilizes the whole thing. It works really well. These work really well for supplemental light, but as a primary light source to grow something like tomatoes, it's just not enough light. But I definitely think it's supporting the leafy greens and things. You can see the leafy greens down here, the lettuce and arugula and different things were growing. Down here, some spinach sprouting. The seed germination rate was very good. These things down here are doing really well next to this little Barina light. You can come in, kind of cut and come again, just come in there and clip those off. But for some of our other stuff, like beans and tomatoes, if I want to grow peppers in here, any fruiting plants, anything that requires a little bit more light, we needed a little more. So I'm trying out some of these Sansi lights. Now these are great for supporting tree growth and things, and I'll show you some of the trees we have around here. But they just have kind of a four-headed light bulb. And these are Sansi full spectrum grow lights that are in here. These can be used in any light socket, light fixture. Basically, these are just light tripods, like a studio light or any backlighting for video. And I happen to have a taller one, and so I put some of them up a little higher. And so this is kind of pointed at my tomato plant, and I've got some pointed right at the bean plant. So we'll see if we get a little better growth out of those. We'll compare those ones to the ones that are down here on the end. So you can see kind of how leggy this bean plant got. That's really not normal to have that tall of a second stem growth. It's really reaching for light. So same with this one up here, it's in low light. You can see how tall, and these are bush beans, so these aren't meant to be super viney. But you can see the ones that are down here. This one did sprout a little bit later, but it is keeping that growth a lot shorter. Even the main stem is a lot shorter on those, and then this one as well. You can see that second tier growth is real short, and you've got this nice, high intensity bulb pointed right at it. But these Sansi lights, these 4-headed lights, are super handy. So I don't think I'll keep them here forever, but they'd be really handy on some of my other grow areas, and I'll show you that. I had real good germination rate. I mean, you can see almost across the board, every pocket germinated really well, with the exception of a couple. Some of the spinach, it looks like, is just starting in this one. That's pretty slow. It doesn't look like I got anything in here. I think every other one is sprouted. All the lettuces, the arugulas, I had a couple different kinds of lettuce, did really well. I can't remember what this is. It's real small still. Except for the bush beans. I had very low germination, so I put 3 seeds in each pocket, and I really only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them to sprout out of the whole packet of seeds. So I'm not sure if it wasn't warm enough, if the soil, you know, isn't warm enough in here, or too wet, not wet enough. I'm not sure exactly what happened with those, but we even have some wheat growing in here, or rye. I'm not sure which one that is. That was for the cat. The cat comes along here and chews on that stuff. And of course, there's some kale. These are old. This has been growing here for months and not doing well. But now that we have some light on it, I think it'll pick up. You can even see new sprouts coming off, and those might grow some nice bigger leaves. This is a dwarf, a real small type of kale. We're either short on water or we have some other deficiency in here, so we'll need to watch that. With some supplemental light, this has the potential to be a pretty good indoor salad garden. So I'll kind of show you an update on a few of the other items that I have growing in here. Real quick, I'll show you the other thing that I planted out in the last video. That was some pak choi and some other lettuce. I'll show you that. That's under a different kind of grow light. It's been doing really, really well. And then I'll show you all my fruit trees that we have in here. Some of them doing real well. Some of them are just kind of hanging on for the winter. So I'll show you how we're keeping that stuff alive here for the dark months of Michigan. So back here in the corner, the cat corner, we have the automatic litter box, which has been awesome. It's been one of the best things we've ever got. Literally just have to empty it out once a week, and I no longer have to scoop litter. It's been awesome. But we have this little thing here. This was a Kickstarter that I promoted. They were trying to sell these let pots. It's an automatic little garden. You keep the water and nutrient solution, kind of a hydroponic solution here. It pumps the water up, then it keeps this full, and it cycles down and keeps this full, and then it goes right back into the bucket. So it just kind of keeps the underneath of it, you know, with water in it to keep the pots watered. But look at the difference. This was all planted. All that stuff that I just showed you over there on the wall was all planted at the same time as this. And the only difference, it's the same soil. They've all been watered the same. The only difference is this has a better light. This has a real power. This is 175 watt unit farm grow light. This is a real old one. I got this a long time ago. The thing I like about this light is that it has a flowering mode, and a vegetative growth mode. And so it changes the light. So right now it's in just vegetative growth. That's all we need for this. We don't need flowering lights, the lower spectrum 2700 Kelvin light. But if you click the switch here, it adds in those red hues, the orange and red hues, which will promote flowering in your plants. We don't want that with lettuce and pak choi, so we'll turn that off. Also saves a little power, a little less power consumption. I actually built a little stand the other day. This is just a cheap, this is some 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch black pipe that I took out of a renovation I did. A water heater renovation, and just some square stock that I had laying around. I just welded it on there, made a little T, so that just kind of extends underneath there to balance it out. And then it's just a little stand, so I can hang the light on there, I can drop it down, raise it up. And I think that will work pretty good for growing some, maybe some short bell peppers or tomatoes in the front, and then some other shorter leafy greens and things in the back. So just to kind of orient you in the room, this is the little let pot grow system. We have the grow wall over there. I've got up on the top some vines and ivy and things like that growing in a pot. And then we have avocado trees and a bunch of little stuff, coffee and stuff I'll show you over there. Lemons. This fern, our banana tree. And this is normal. A lot of the lower leaves will die off as it grows up, and it will just keep growing higher and higher, and it has the new leaf comes spinning out of the top, and it'll unfold. Again, it's not growing much because it doesn't have a lot of sunlight, so it slows way down. In the summertime, like every week, there's a new leaf coming out. It's really cool. Brought a little cabbage in. It's growing nice and slow. And I had some bananas that I brought in here. I kept splitting these out. See, the bananas will grow from the root, and so you'll get these little shoots that'll come off, and you can break those off and plant them. There's another one over there you can see come off the side. You can break those off and replant them. I had done that, and I took these in from the frost too late, and it got them, and they died. But this kind of stuff here, I still have space to grow in these buckets, but this is a good space for those Sansi lights to sit, those little towers, and it'll kind of cover this area. And so I'll probably move one of those over here. This is Barb. Barb is I think it's a New Zealand fern, I think that's right. And then along the window here we have several different plants and trees. This is a coffee. I don't know if you really call it a tree or a bush. I think it seems more like a bush to me. You can see this is doing pretty bad. This is what happens to this stuff in the wintertime here. It just really suffers. It's real dry in here. You know, I need to mist them probably. They're built for a little bit more humid climate, so is the banana. And they'll get dried out, and some of the leaves will fall off, and then we'll get them out in the summertime and they'll perk back up. Got another coffee here, coffee tree bush. And this one actually, let's see if we can find some coffee in here. Oh, there's one. So this one actually has coffee beans. Look at that. So this is the first year it has produced any coffee beans, and we've pulled off maybe, I don't know, 10. So it's actually gonna grow coffee for us. Isn't that cool? And this again was a little Amazon purchase. They were real small, and it's been doing really good. So this one here looks a lot better than the other one does, and it's a lot bigger. And so we won't save those coffee beans. Not much you can do with 10 coffee beans, but once this grows bigger, a couple more years, we may get an actual pretty good harvest off of it. And this is an olive bush. This is actually real healthy. Again, this was a pretty small plant when we got this, and this will eventually produce olives. It has not yet. It did flower 1 year. These are more of a dry weather climate, and so they do a little better in their dry indoors. But it's not great. Again, not a lot of light in here. And then this is such a sad little guy here. This is the clementine tree, the first tree we ever bought. This was an anniversary gift that the SSL family mom and I bought, and it died. I tried something different this year. I left it inside. I put it by the window and left it inside all summer, and it gets so shaded in here in the summertime, it got no light and it literally died. This is the graft. It was grafted onto rootstock. You can see where the graft was, where it kind of gets bigger right here. So this is a different kind of tree, and the top was grafted on a clementine tree. And so you can see these leaves are not, this is not clementine leaves. And once the top died off, all these branches just started sprouting out of the bottom of this thing. So whatever this rootstock is, what I thought it would be fun to do is try to graft another fruit on here. So maybe we'll give that a try, grafting. We'll have our first grafting experiment. And then lastly, we have another lemon tree over there. So I have 2 lemon trees. Never have really produced much in the way of lemons, but sometimes I'll get flowers and it'll start producing, and then the lemons will fall off when they're only like marble size. This is an avocado. I'm blown. Look at the flowering on this thing. I mean, that is unbelievable. So this is doing really well, but again, it doesn't get a lot of sunlight, and so a lot of the fruit doesn't seem to set. I've had this flower a couple times, and maybe it's not old enough. Maybe it says that it is self-pollinating. I guess I just have to see what happens this year. If this were to produce, I mean, there'd be 200 avocados on this thing, so that'd be cool. We have a small friend that lives in this place. The other day, I happened to see a tree frog. So somehow there was a tree frog in here, and I hope it's still alive. It was actually crawling across this light string. It was a couple weeks ago, and so I haven't seen it yet. They're really hard to find. It's in one of these trees somewhere, hiding under or on a leaf, and I just, you know, it'd be really cool if we could find it today. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. A little tour, a little update. Lighting is definitely my biggest issue. You know, I've been trying every year to different things and see what grows, what won't. And I think I've got a decent system figured out. The garden wall, the grow wall, I think is just gonna have to be for super low light stuff. I just can't grow too much in the winter in there, unfortunately. Maybe I'll take the top half off and take it out to the garden and do something out there. Let me know what you guys think of the update. Any ideas, suggestions? I always take those. Appreciate all your feedback as always. And let me know what you do. Do you guys grow anything inside? Have you had successful fruit trees that you've been able to grow in a northern climate where you've had, you know, frost, you had to bring things inside? I'd love to hear any tips and tricks you guys have or any success stories that are out there. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video, and as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.